This morning I'm doing some level 2 arm cars. So I'm going to show you how to go about doing this and how it might be a little bit different. In level 1, you're just learning the basic pattern and you're assessing pain, basic ability. In level 2, you're using external cues, internal cues to really help your body understand the isolation of the movement, where these movements are coming from, and giving yourself a lot of information so that you can start to improve these motions. So this is going to be a level 2 arm car, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. Now I've got 2 thick resistance bands which I'm going to be using, and I'm actually going to be using Katie Bowman's ribcage pelvis position as my home base. So I'm using Katie Bowman's biomechanics of ribcage pelvis dynamics for the pressure, the breath, the diaphragm, the ribs, to help assess hyperkyphosis, these sorts of things. And I'm using that information, and then I'm getting into that position, and then I'm going to be using these isolation exercises. So really interesting. I'm gluing together these multiple schools, and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. So these are level 2 arm cars. So I've got a resistance band, and I'm going to throw it over my body, and I'm going to find my ASIS, I'm going to find my ribs, and I'm really going to let my ribs down so that, in case you have never studied restorative exercise, nutritious movement, she has a relationship between the ribs and the pelvis, and we should be able to get into this with ease, and this is going to really help with pressure dynamics of our core, our breathing dynamics. It's also going to help us assess the shape of our spine, and so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to take those ribs, drop that bottom rib down so that it basically forms somewhat of a straight down plumb line with my ASIS. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to help me track where those ribs are by putting this band and then creating a little bit of a tension. So I've got this band attached to a pole, and then rather than having my ribs up, I'm going to create this nice situation in the lower core, in my spine, and then I'm going to let everything relax. Now I'm going to go into my arm car, and I'm letting my shoulder blade and my humerus bone use as much range of motion as they can handle, as much isolation as they can handle, but my mind is going to be jumping between my shoulder blade, my arm, and this band, and this band is an external cue, so I'm not going to be pushing forward into it, and that's going to stabilize my body, bring me into a nice position. So I'm going to start this off by creating the ribcage pelvis position, and this is actually quite a relaxed position. I'm tracking how much energy does it take for me to get into this. Now the first motion is going to be across my body and externally rotating. In this motion, I'm going to be mentally tracking my shoulder blade. I really want my humerus bone to be reaching across my body as I externally rotate, externally rotate, externally rotate. So now I'll add a little bit more shoulder blade, and you see how I go further across, but I really want this to be mostly upper arm bone, reaching up, reaching up, reaching up. Now that I'm starting to go up, I start to feel those ribs. So now I'm really going to leave these down, reaching up, bicep to ear. And now, ooh, this starts to become super useful to help me know, is it my ribs or is it my arm moving? This is the level 2. And now I'm going to start to internally rotate, drive in behind, internally rotate by my side, leaving those ribs down. I can feel that relationship. This is like a mental activity as much as it is a physical activity. Externally rotate, Those ribs, I'm monitoring. Pelvis, I'm monitoring. Tension, I'm monitoring. Externally rotate. Drive that bicep to the ear. Sweeping across. And down. So this band is just helping me isolate. So if I did a sloppy one, I would be coming here and I'd be pulling on that band. I'd be twisting that band, and then I would be essentially, I'd be doing the motion, but I wouldn't really be isolating the motion. The goal is of level 2 CARS is to help you understand the relationships, dissociating particular joints, and bringing your mind bright and detailed into your ability to isolate. So one more quick one. Ooh, feel that band. It's on my ribs, so my brain feels that sensation, feels the relationship with my pelvis. Externally rotate, sweep across. Ooh, I really want to be able to drive my arm across my body. Driving up, still externally rotating. Ooh, yeah, so much information. Internally rotate, internally rotate, internally rotate. Internally rotate, externally rotate, externally rotate, driving in behind, externally rotate. And across. Yeah. So bringing some awareness to your body, outside of your body, sensation, understanding the relationship between parts, and then understanding where those motions are coming from and giving yourself every opportunity to succeed in your mobility, flexibility gains is the point of level 2. And then after that, we might start to load it and we might start to bring ideas to other areas of your body.